What's going on, YouTube? Hope you're having a fantastic day today. One thing's for sure, I'm enjoying it because it's nice outside, not too hot, not too cold. The leaves on the trees are blooming or have finished blooming on some of them, which is what spring's all about. And I've got some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the good news, because, well, why not? So the good news is, today is May 31st, which means that it is the first day since the stay-at-home order has ended after nearly 2.5 months of being in the hole, as I like to refer to it as. I mean, because what is there to do? I've basically been playing old video games and going out driving on the country, the same road. That gets kind of repetitive after a while. So, next month, I'd say it's time for something new. So what I'm going to do is, in 2 days from today, it's going to be Tuesday, which is the day, like the first Tuesday of the month is when Illinois tests their tornado sirens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up at 8 a.m. on Tuesday and drive to University Park to record their Thunderbolt 1003. And see, it's not just any Thunderbolt 1003. Hang on just a second. Huh. I was wondering if that was my neighbor. Neighbor 2 houses down has a motorcycle. So anyway, that's not just any 1003. But the University Park 1003 near the fire department is currently the only 4-to-5 port ratio Thunderbolt 1003 still standing. There was one in Nebraska, I can't remember where, but I've seen videos of it. It had a backwards wired blower. That one was taken down for maintenance apparently. And as far as I know, a white 1003 stands in its place. It doesn't rotate, it doesn't do high-low, and the blower is still wired backwards. So, and it's a 5-6 port ratio, not a 4-5. Now, of course, the one that was standing before it, that had a 5-6 ratio initially, but I guess the motor died, and then they replaced it with one that had a 4-5 ratio. So, I mean, that's kind of off topic because it's not the University Park 1003. Now, for the next bit of good news, so next month, which is June, obviously. I don't know why I refer to it as next month when it starts tomorrow. So, June, I'll just call it that. I'm going to be renting an Audi A8 to make videos with. I decided against renting the BMW Alpina B7 because you never know. Even though it is a 2015, so it's not all that old, you never know if it could have problems or if it's a fake Alpina B7. I think it's a real one, and I think it would be a cool car to rent if it was. But honestly, you know, given that it's a BMW, it could have problems, so there you have it. I mean, a BMW with a V8 anyway, because I've heard that still to this day they haven't figured out how to make a V8 engine that doesn't require new valve cover gaskets every whatever miles. But yeah, you get the idea, because with worn valve cover gaskets, you get an oil leak. And so, yep. And this A8 that I'm renting, it's going to be a 2014. It's either 2014 or 15. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it has a V6. So, yeah, I know, doesn't have a V8. But given that it's an A8, it should have a lot of gizmos and gadgets So every bell and whistle you can think of. Now, the only thing that I don't like about that previous generation A8 is the shifter of death, as I like to call it, because it's the same exact shifter design that was in the Chrysler 300s and Jeep Grand Cherokees, and I think some Dodge Chargers and Challengers, if I'm not mistaken. Even though it's a German car and not, well, Fiat Chrysler product, so kind of boggled me how it was kind of mind-boggling how, you know, a similar shifter was used in the Audi A8 as stuff like the Jeep Grand Cherokee and Chrysler 300 at the time. But luckily they fixed that with the new model. The new model is much more like a BMW. You hit the unlock button on the side, pull all the way back for drive, all the way forward for reverse, halfway for neutral, and then there's a button for park, which I think is much safer because it's easier to remember to hit park than it is to forcefully slam the shifter all the way forward into park, because sometimes I guess that didn't work and thus the car was in neutral instead. Alright, so now for some bad news. Just because the stay-at-home order is over does not mean that, you know, everything's going to be back open. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, for example, where I like to go have dinner every Friday. They're still not opening for indoor service. So that's a bummer. Another bit of bad news is, you know, I've decided against going to Raging Waves this year because I'd rather be safe than sorry, not get the virus. So I'm not going to Raging Waves. I'm also not going to any other pools or water parks this year. So yeah, but see, that's, I mean, not too much of a surprise, but the real bad news in that is that I read the refund policy on Raging Waves' website, and they typically do not offer refunds for any tickets or season passes that you buy. So I wrote to them and kindly asked for a refund because of COVID-19, or as I like to call it, the stupid virus. Because it really is stupid how, you know, such a bad virus can have this much of a direct and indirect impact on people. So hopefully I can get a refund, but if I can't, you know, not the end of the world, not a big deal. I got it for $85 anyway, which is not the full price. So, you know, as I've said, not the end of the world. Hopefully they use that money wisely for like development of new slides and stuff. I know they are working on a new slide this year, and I was excited to video it, but unfortunately that's going to have to wait until next year. So sorry to all you viewers out there on my channel who like the Raging Waves content. It's going to have to wait for safety reasons. And I think the last bit of bad news, hopefully, is our vacation for next month, which is the trip to Myrtle Beach, has been canceled. So we're not driving, we're not flying, we're not going to Myrtle Beach at all. What I'd love to do is go to Lexington, Kentucky, which is my birthplace. It's also a place I like to go to sometimes to visit my grandparents. But, you know, 7 years ago, my family and I decided, you know what, we'll go to Lexington, Kentucky one time this summer. And we had a lot of fun. We went to a couple different pools. We even went to, well, actually, this part was in 2012. The pool's 2013, but in 2012, we went to Kings Island, which is similar to Six Flags. And boy, did I have the time of my life then. But anyway, so yeah, that's a bit of bad news. No vacation in June. Hopefully I could at least go to Lexington, Kentucky in like July or something, because I know we're going to Rhode Island in August instead of July. And well, if I go to Lexington in August, I'd have to make it quick because that's the same month I go back to school. So that kind of thing. Now, I'm not really sure if there's anything I missed in this video, but you know, if I did, I'll make another one. But that's all I can think of right now. So luckily, at least I think the good news outweighs the bad news, and you know, I'm trying to keep a positive attitude, even though, you know, everything is effed up in the world right now. And it all started with a stupid virus, you know. And now we've got people rioting and protesting and destroying things that aren't even their own. It's that kind of thing. So I didn't even know what to say about that, other than, you know, that I wish the trigger for that had never happened. Because honestly, you know, this is how drama starts. Something triggers the drama, then the drama goes on, then people don't drop the drama. So it happens all the time. And it's unfortunate. So that's about all I have to share for right now, and I hope you have a great day.